Welcome back, guys. Today we're in Plaquemines Parish, down the Mississippi River. This is about over an hour drive from New Orleans, and we are at Fort Jackson. Built in 1822, took 10 years to build. This was built to protect the lower Mississippi River. This fort was named for Andrew Jackson. In April of 1862, this fort withstood a 10-day siege led by American Naval Commander David Farragut. He brought his mortar boats up the river and bombarded Fort Jackson and Fort St. Philip, that's right across the river, for 10 days. So they were successful, just pounding these forts with mortar rounds, and they were eventually able to head upriver, and this allowed Union forces to capture the city of New Orleans. So follow me, we'll head in here and we'll go check out the fort. All right, so right over this structure is the Mississippi River, right behind me. And this is Fort Jackson, the outside of Fort Jackson. We're gonna walk over this little bridge moat deal here, and I just scoped out. It looks like the gate's locked, but I'm gonna try and find a way to maybe peek over and show you guys inside the fort. But this is it right here, Fort Jackson. All right, be careful, guys. It's a super cold day today. Well, cold for down here. It's about 40 degrees, pretty windy. All right, you guys be careful. There's a bunch of water, so. Fort Jackson. So I think this is as far as we're gonna get right here, guys, because there's a bunch of water right here. And I have tennis shoes on, so I'm not gonna walk through this, but you can peek in there. Stay right there, because we don't want to get our shoes soaking wet. So what we're gonna do is we'll get back in the car and we'll drive around and see if we can peek over the side of one of these walls and show you the inside. But guys, let's go back over here real quick. I know, bud. Put your hands in your pockets, pal.
No, my face is cold.
All right. You guys want to wait in the car?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna go right back up here, okay? In the last video I posted at Fort Morgan in Alabama, there was another Lafayette Tour sign. There's one here as well. It says Lafayette's Tour. On April 9th, 1825, a 13-gun salute was fired from Fort St. Philip across the river. Fort St. Philip is right across the Mississippi River over there. As General Lafayette passed by aboard the steamboat Natchez. And that's kind of cool. So William G. Pomeroy Foundation, they do some great historical marker signs. I'll post a link or a website in there. I've browsed their website. They do some really cool stuff. I think they're maybe based somewhere out of the Northeast, but let's go take a look up here. I'll show you the Mississippi River and point you in the direction of where St. Philip is. Super windy. So there's the river. Super windy today. Right across the way is St. Philip. But I saw another really interesting sign here. Bayou Mardi Gras. So, Bayou Mardi Gras on 3 March 1699. It says across the Mississippi River from this marker is historic Bayou Mardi Gras, oldest place name of other than Indian origin in the whole vast Mississippi River Valley. On Tuesday, March 3rd, 1699, Pierre Iberville with his companions camped where the bayou, then 130 feet wide, entered the river. That day being the pre-Lenten holiday called Mardi Gras. He gave that name to both the bayou and adjoining point of land. The name Bayou Mardi Gras ultimately disappeared from maps. It was replaced by Bayou Plaquemine and by Fort Bayou. That is pretty cool. Bayou Mardi Gras. So it says, you are here, Fort Jackson, which is right behind me. Here's the Mississippi River. Mississippi River. And then right across the way, Fort St. Philip. All right. Let's go drive around, see if we can view the inside of this fort here.
How do we get in the fort?
I don't know, buddy. I think it's closed. We drove to the other side around the fort, and it looks like this gate's closed too, but I'm just gonna sort of show you around here. So this is the back side of the fort. Mississippi River's right over there. Let's walk across this bridge, guys, and just peek in, okay?
Why is this all green?
See, I don't know, this might be open. Is this open? Oh, that's locked up too.
This one's locked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right.
But how are we gonna get in?
So, this is the outside of the fort here.
How are we gonna get in that?
I don't know, buddy. It's closed. It must be closed up for the holidays. In April of 1862, during the American Civil War, the Battle of Fort Jackson became a key moment in the Union's campaign to control the Mississippi River. Fort Jackson, along with nearby Fort St. Philip, guarded the southern approach to New Orleans, the Confederacy's largest and most important port city. If the Union could break through these defenses, New Orleans would be exposed. The Union attack was led by Flag Officer David Farragut, commanding a powerful fleet of warships, while General Benjamin Butler prepared ground forces. Opposing them were Confederate troops manning the fort and a small, poorly equipped river defense fleet. For several days, beginning on April 18, 1862, Union mortar boats bombarded Fort Jackson relentlessly. The heavy shelling damaged the fort and exhausted its defenders, but it did not force an immediate surrender. In the early morning hours of April 24th, Farragut made a bold decision. Under cover of darkness, his fleet attempted to run past the forts. Despite heavy fire, most Union ships successfully passed Fort Jackson and Fort St. Philip and continued upriver toward New Orleans. Cut off, demoralized, and flooded after a levee broke inside the fort, Confederate troops at Fort Jackson mutinied. With no hope of relief, the fort surrendered on April 28, 1862. The fall of Fort Jackson led directly to the capture of New Orleans, a massive blow to the Confederacy. The Union gained control of the Mississippi's lower reaches, weakening Southern trade, supply lines, and morale. The battle demonstrated the growing power of naval warfare and marked a turning point in the Union's strategy to divide the Confederacy along the Mississippi River.